It's when his left wrist gets bent backwards and with impact from his teammate here. Welcome back everyone, my name is Dr. Stephen Wilson, and if you're new to this channel, here we analyze the mechanisms of sports injuries. So if that's the type of content that does interest you, then please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. Sunday afternoon's game between the Lions and the Jags has Lions linebacker Alex Anzalone. He gets his left wrist bent backwards and extended like this and is ruled out of the game with a left arm and wrist injury. Let's take a look at exactly what happened here on the replay. When we analyze the injury here, we start with the replay of Anzalone. He is in the forefront of the picture here. Of course, you can identify him with his long blonde hair here, known as Thor. So he is in pursuit of the ball carrier going towards the sidelines. And here he comes in to make the tackle. We can see his left arm right here. That is his left arm, so his left hand is grabbing onto the jersey of the ball carrier for the Jags. And when he's grabbing on, his teammate, Branch, comes in to assist on the tackle. So if we back it up just a little bit here, again, that's Anzalone's left arm. He's got his left hand. You can see he's got black tape on his wrist, perhaps a black glove there as well. He's grabbing onto the jersey of the Jags player. And then we also see the right forearm right here of his teammate. It's going to come in from underneath and it's going to drive upwards in a inferior to superior motion, or from a down to up motion here. He's going to drive through. But when Anzalone's left hand is anchored or grabbing on to the jersey of the number 1, the Jags ball carrier. So his hand is fixated to the player, but the forearm of his teammate is driving up and forward and is going to drive through the forearm of Anzalone right there. And it's really going to bend his left wrist backwards. And the right forearm of his teammate it's almost going to act like a fulcrum pushing into the end of the forearm of Anzalone. The continuation of the play, even before he's fully down on the ground, you can see Anzalone using his right hand to grab onto the end of his forearm here on his left side, obviously in discomfort. We look at that replay again. There's the grab. The right forearm of his teammate drives up and through, putting a point of contact on the end of Anzalone's forearm. And that's where the injury occurs. Anzalone goes down, grasping at his forearm in pain. You can see him standing up. He mouths the words to his teammates there. I believe he says, "It's broke." He gets up, mouths the words, but we do see a medical personnel here in the gray jacket. He is stabilizing Anzalone's right forearm as they walk off together to the training room in order to have x-rays performed on his forearm. So there are a number of possibilities of injuries that could occur here. Certainly the main concern is for a fracture to the distal forearm, the radius or the ulna here of Anzalone. Of course, you could have a left wrist sprain. It's unlikely, there's an outside chance of a dislocation here, but diagnostic imaging will certainly rule in or out any of those injuries that I just mentioned here on the play. And now, after looking at the replay, we're going to take a look here at the anatomy screen so we can correlate exactly what happened to his forearm with the anatomical model so we can better understand exactly what's happening. So when we look at the anatomical model of the skeleton here, we're looking from the front. This is a frontal or an anterior view. So of course we have the skull at the top, we have the right arm, and then indicated here in green is the left arm. So we just want to take a look at his left arm. So we're going to hide the rest. And then we'll move his arm around a little bit here. We're going to zoom in on the hand and the bottom of the wrist area, mainly the forearm bones. The larger one here, that's called your radius. And the smaller one beside it, that is your ulnar right here. That gives rise to the bones of your wrist and then into your hand, your carpals and your metacarpals here. So if we turn and we look from the side, we can get a lateral view of the hand and wrist here. So remember when Anzalone was going in to make that tackle and he had his left hand or his left arm grasping onto the jersey of the ball carrier for the Jags. Then his teammate came in driving up with his right forearm into the left hand and arm of Anzalone. That's going to cause his hand to extend backwards. So it's going to pull it backwards. When we think of bringing our the palm of our hand downwards, that's inflection. When we bring it backwards, that's called extension. So that's going to really pull his wrist back into extension, which is going to increase a lot of pressure and energy through his wrist here. And then the right forearm of his teammate came through the distal or the furthest away part of his forearm. Perhaps that's where the fracture is occurring in his arm here. Again, we had mentioned perhaps there's a sprain to the wrist area of Anzalone. There's an outside chance, unlikely, but we will mention a dislocation of his left wrist as well. From watching this replay, I would anticipate Anzalone to be out for a period of time with what appears to be a left wrist or forearm injury, as we saw in the replay. Thank you very much for watching today. That's it for the video. I really do appreciate your time. Have a great day.